Hey, Terry with Ultimate Outdoors Radio. Tom here. We're on the camera. It's the final day of our 12 days of elk hunting here in Utah on our limited draw. Just wanted to give you an update of what happened over the past 11 days. We get a little shot of our camp here. We got a nice view. Mountains all the way around us, full of popples, and it's just. The trouble is, it's been 85 degrees, and these elk are not moving. The elk we got coming to our water tanks are now nocturnal, and they're coming off the other side of that mountain up there, which is all north-facing slope. And because of this heat, they're not laying anywhere where they're getting any sun, so they're coming all the way over the top every night. So it takes them a while to get down here, but. Long story short, I think we had 7 bulls within a mile of our tent on cameras, trail cams. There's only 6 bulls now. We knocked one down the first night, nice heavy 6-point, which you'll see pictures of. So we went through the week checking trail cams. Had a nice 6-point showed up the morning after I shot my bull. If we'd have been up there, could have got him the next morning and been completely done 11 days ago. But anyway, throughout the week there was some nocturnal stuff on cameras. Mostly in the middle of the night the bulls came, but we knew there was at least 6 different bulls. So came Friday night, we were sitting on the tank. The trouble is here we're dealing with numerous bears, and they're a little bit too aggressive for us. We had one bear that was a big boar, and he'd come huffing into the carcass, which was only about 100 yards from us. And the last night we were up there, and then we had a female with cubs who's she's a humongous bear. So we didn't trust her either, but we kind of challenged both of them to give us some distance, but it didn't work. The big female was about 100 yards in the open, and we walked out to kind of let her know we were there. And she stared at us for a while, and she left. But the last night we were up there, the boar came out, and of course he had the carcass there and the water tank, and we kind of challenged him a little bit about 75 yards, and he sat down on his butt and watched us. So we figured we knew what he was up to. He was going to be a little too aggressive for us. We were armed with 44 mag, 45, double bear spray, and muzzle loaders, but there's a ton of bears in these areas, and it really affected the elk movement to make them nocturnal. So anyway, coming to Friday night, we almost killed the second bull. All we could see was his horns from behind the pine tree. He needed to take 2 more steps to get into the open of the water tank. Otherwise, we'd have been done last Friday night. So, wasn't a huge bull, but still, it's a nice bull. Any bull's a good bull. And even though it takes a while to draw, sometimes you take what it gives you. But last night we checked the trail cam. There was a really, really big 6-point on it. Thought he was a 7. Probably would have scored 330, maybe 340, but he came twice, once at 11 o'clock, once at 5 in the morning. So we just couldn't get him to come in the daylight like we wanted to. We hunted high, trying to cut him off. That didn't work. But anyway, so last night we got into camp, picked everything up, and we actually had brought in 12 beers apiece, so there was 1 beer per day, and we had a hard time drinking those just because of all the exercise. But we finished off a couple last night and reminisced of old elk hunts. It's always good to be in elk camp. You know, you think back of, many years ago when Tom and I were in Idaho and talked about shooting a bull in the meadow there. We got up one morning from the tent, nice 5-point going across the meadow. We harvested that one. Looked back at when I took my son Tristan to New Mexico, called in a really nice 6-point bull for him, came on a dead charge for 400 yards. We slept out in a tent with no sleeping bags, froze our butts, no water, had to kind of borrow a little water from an outfitter tent. But all those memories, and memories of the Colorado bull a few years ago, which we put a decoy out and got him to come to that and harvested him, and so a lot of good memories. We've been involved in a lot of, I think Tom and I have probably been involved in almost 25 elk harvests between friends and family, and so we've been at it a while, and we usually can get into a new area and get it done, and we probably should have been 100% here, but it's the old story of 2 steps. So otherwise we're packing up, we're waiting for the horses to come in. The one thing I wanted to mention is I purchased this new DeLorme, which is a satellite system. And if I wouldn't have had this, our elk would have spoiled this week because you had to have them out ASAP. And I'm guessing a lot of meat spoiled this week with 85 degrees. These bulls are not going to move in the sunlight, and it just made it tough. And you couldn't drink enough water. So that's kind of the end of the 2015 hunt, and we'll be posting things up, and hope you enjoyed all the videos. So this is Terry and Tom with Ultimate Outdoors Radio. Catch Ultimate Outdoors Radio every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, live. You can catch it worldwide live on iHeartRadio. So follow us on Facebook also. So our next ventures, we don't know where we're heading. We got possibility to draw in Arizona for 13 years. Tom's got a Nevada draw, which is 13 or 14 years on elk. We've got mule deer yet here in Utah. And so, plus getting our family out hunting, sons out hunting. And so, always fun to look forward to. It's a lot of work. This is a do-it-yourself hunt. And if you ever have any questions, need some help with do-it-yourself hunts, we've pretty much got it figured out after 30 years. So, anyway, Terry and Tom for Ultimate Outdoors Radio, and I hope you enjoyed the hunt this year.